as we're saying now here, there's a lot of things that everyone has been talking about. So like Bruce is saying, getting back into the guitar, working with your hands. There's been things that we've been also talking about, the happiness in your pursuits rather than being so concerned with the pursuit of happiness, right? Finding work, finding something to do, right? Getting back into the swing of things, right? And so we are very, very blessed today to welcome someone from the Department of Rehabilitation. I know we've been talking about it a long time. And so please give a round of applause for Richard Perez. Yeah, give a great welcome.
Okay, thank you. Where should I stand?
I'd probably stand right up in here. Yeah,
And if they can't hear me, I'm sure they can message in or something. I'll speak louder or yell.
Yeah.
There's a bullhorn in the car. Go get it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you can stand here or right up in here.
Fine.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I can stand. First off, thank you guys for letting me come here and getting me out of my work. Awesome. I'll be here every meeting if you let me.
Absolutely.
I like your Dodger hat, by the way. I play the drums so we can jam out, have rock sessions, whatever we gotta do. It'd be good. Just kidding. No. Anyway, my name's Rich. I am from the Department of Rehabilitation. I did bring some cards, but I think you have my information up there, right? But either way, you guys will have my email, and that's probably the most important thing that you need from me, because I will definitely help you out. I'm going to tell you what the Department of Rehabilitation does, and if it can be a service to you. First off, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very seeing you all here as a group and through your journey. I applaud. And I'm all for being on your team and helping out any way that I can. So I work for the Department of Rehabilitation. There's several offices. There's a lot of offices actually throughout California, because I think you mentioned there's some people from the group that are all over the state. I specifically work at the one in Orange, Santa Ana, so a little bit south from here, from Fullerton area. There's an Anaheim one. But I can help you get all those addresses later if you have a specific one that you need for your area.
Do you have to go to a specific area?
No, you don't. If you want to be my friend, you can be my friend and I can help you out from afar.
Yes.
You can, but however, once it gets to, but what we help is with employment. Unfortunately, I don't have the magic key to find jobs everywhere. So we kind of have, I'm pretty good in my area. So it could get a little beneficial to probably work in an office that's closer to the area that you want to reach that employment goal, if that makes sense. But we can always transfer and we can work around that. We can figure that out. So Department of Rehabilitation, it's sometimes gets confused as for drug rehabilitation, but we are vocational rehabilitation. So our services are to assist people with disabilities. That is a big spectrum there. Physical, mental, brain injuries, people to assist people with disabilities reach their employment goal. Everybody's goal is different. And I'll get into the services that we have, but that's the basic idea you need to have if you think you may qualify. Do I have a disability? Yes. Do I want to further my employment, reach employment, obtain employment, whatever has to do with employment? Hey, maybe the Department of Rehabilitation will help me. That's the spark to say, let me email this guy and get an application and apply. It's I brought some applications. I thought there was just going to be people in here, but I can email you some online. There's some back here. It's a pretty lengthy packet. It goes over a little bit of your history of your disability and a little bit of, how that affects you. And then a little bit on what you're looking for in the future, for employment purposes in your journey. A little bit of your job history of what you've done in the past up to this point. And then some financial, I'm not, I don't know if anybody here is millionaires, I'm not, but if we go through a little bit of financial to see if you meet the need factor and can benefit from the state assisting you, which most people do meet that factor. So that's a little bit about the application. You fill that out, you turn it into our DOR office or email it, and then we set you up with your first intake appointment, where you will meet with a counselor and just go over that packet a little bit more in depth. But that's going to be your counselor who's going to start your journey of vocational rehabilitation for yourself. Okay. And everybody's journey is different. After that intake, we go through the space to develop an IP, that's your individual plan for employment. Okay, and everybody's is different. Some people's plan are shorter than others because it depends on the length of the rehabilitation that is needed. For example, some people are maybe just dealing with a little bit of anxiety because they haven't had a job interview in a while. Okay, so we might just need to prep them up with some job interviews, some training. Some people might need a full education or training certificate or some type of training to get into the employment goal that they want to reach. So the services that we offer, I'll go into the services. So that was just to tell you that the lengths of the plans are different for everybody.
Okay, excellent. And would you like to take questions as they come?
Yeah, please. If there's, let me know if anybody's raised, and if I speak too fast, I'll slow down. It just keeps me out of the office a little bit longer. So that's good.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, Violet, you had something there?
I do, thank you. Actually, this was a question I've had, this last week, so this is perfect timing. And I apologize if you mentioned this already. I had it cut off because I was at my doctor's office. So I'm going back to take yoga classes. And because, many of you probably know yoga can be pretty expensive. I was given the opportunity to do a trade, in exchange for, doing some work at the studio. And sorry about that, if that's background noise. I was given the opportunity to do some, some work around the studio, in exchange for, not the amount. Instead of paying for the studio, I get to do some work there. So it turns out that now they actually want to pay me. I was like, what? I really was not expecting any pay. I was just excited that, they were offering me the opportunity to do that exchange program. Is that something I can go ahead and accept? Or is it going to affect me?
So if I understand correctly, the question, pretty much she had a job offer?
Yeah, but it's like a sort of an informal kind of exchange.
And the question is, can you still apply with us for service? Okay, yes. So you don't have to. You can be employed, underemployed, and still apply for our services to reach the next level, or the level where we're giving you the goals to gain independence and be self-sustainable, and you're making enough money to cover all your bills and live that life, that dream that we and we all have, so you can still be employed. I have people that come in that work entry-level jobs, let's say, but it's just not enough. So you can still apply. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that answers your question there, Violet. So yes, the answer is you can. Being employed does not preclude you
Correct.
from application. And so that is a great question. I myself am a client of the DOR, so thank you very much, Richard. And of course, I'm employed here, so and it's been incredibly helpful, incredibly helpful. So, yeah, there was a question here. Yes.
So to be eligible to be served by the DOR, do you have to have a medical diagnosis that says you have a disability or something recognized by the ADA? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's really, it first comes down to the counselor that you're meeting with the intake. If you have dealt with something, disability, diagnosed or not, you feel something, you put that on the application, whatever you think that is, and then the counselor will sit with you during the intake and figure out, for example, there's many, we go to high schools and there's many students with 504 plans, which are documented school plans to help children that have they need accommodations. It's not diagnosed, but however, we accept that and we would still make them eligible. So the best thing to do is fill out the application with whatever disabilities you think they are, and then the counselor decide that there on the spot and figure it out. Because then they can also figure out ways to, okay, well, maybe you don't have a doctor, but you did have medication that you were taking, and there's other ways to kind of justify that there is something there that we can help, assist you with. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you bring any applications with you?
Yes, sir, I did. I'll give you some at the end of the.
Great question. Great question, Bruce.
I did bring some, and like I said, my email, I can always email them to you too. It's
Okay.
super easy. So
Perfect. And Jose, you had something there, sir?
Yeah. I dropped out of 11th grade in high school because I want to start to work, support my kids. And I didn't get that diploma. And I want to be a cop that was in the office. I want to be employed like that.
Oh, okay. So your question is, if I did not finish high school, so right, like let's say 11th grade, and so, but you would like to apply for a job, some kind of law enforcement, but it requires at least a high school diploma, would that preclude you from applying to the DOR?
Yeah.
so you can apply no matter what education level you're at. The plan, though, once you get to the planning phase with your counselor, is probably going to have some steps in there that are going to require you to finish school, depending on the employment. We don't control the employers and what they require. We don't do it. So you're just kind of maybe looking at a longer plan, but you can always still apply.
Great. And also, that was a great question, Jose, because if let's say your goal based on your counselor is becoming something that requires a high school diploma and you do not have one, the DOR can help with the tuition, offsetting that tuition potentially to get you that high school diploma, for example.
Yeah, because I had to drop out on this. I was 17. I was 17 years old. I had to drop out of high school and start working to support my kids and my girlfriend.
Yeah, and you had to do it for your kids, right? And they're greatly appreciated. Yeah, you had something there, Ryan, and then Megan.
Yeah, what does he say about my frontal brain injury? Like are you guys able to get my if I've got to try to explain to him like I've got no filter.
Yeah, right.
Like absolutely no filter. I told Daniel to F off like 4 years ago. Daniel remembers that, so.
Yeah, no, and so I think I know what your question is, right? So really great question. That's actually.
I just want to do something.
Right, that's a very important question that you have there. So his question is, so I have a frontal lobe injury, right? Characteristic of TBI, right? And so because I have that frontal lobe injury, I am disinhibited, or I can't think, or I get emotionally dysregulated. What services does the DOR provide to help me with all of my dysregulation work successfully?
Yeah. So that's similar to we have cases where people have really bad anxiety and want to just work on a computer. So there's many different occupations. What we do is when you work with our counselor and they intake gentlemen and get to know the characteristics, the abilities, the disabilities, the limitations or abilities, however way you want to look at it in a positive way, we're going to look more at the positive attributes that he has to try to get you placed in a work environment that can be understanding of the situation. We have many organizations come to us saying, we have opportunities, and this is the criteria kind of the ideal person we're looking for. Maybe that's not as mobile. So it's just people that maybe have mobility issues. So we have a lot of opportunities that come in, and we have a specialist that just knows everybody on the caseload, and we'll just kind of match them up specifically. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah, I live with my parents right now because I have seizures. And I think the last seizure I had was like 4 months ago, and I just want to move out. And it's really hard for me because I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to live on my own. But I actually want to get married.
Boom.
I want to get married again because I'm divorced from, I'm going to call her the devil. I found out she cheated on me on my birthday after I found out I was three feet from an IED. So that's not I don't know. That's just, and that was that was on my birthday. So
Yeah. So great. So I mean, like
I'll stop talking though.
Yeah, no, but exactly as you're talking, like there are services, as Richard was saying, there are companies, there are agencies, and it's all about working individually for your capabilities to fit the person and the job.
Correct.
Right.
So there's no time constraint. There's no time constraint. You could be on a caseload as long as it takes. Might have some work experience that lasts 2-3 months, and then we move on to the next one. We keep trying to get better. It's vocational rehabilitation is a process. Nobody says it has to happen in one day. It's a process.
Hey, that's so important.
We're very understanding. I have people on my caseload that have been there for years that are just trying to get to the next step. It's okay.
You know, I appreciate that because then like rehabilitation, like all rehabilitation, vocational rehabilitation, getting back into work is a process, right? Megan, you had something there?
Yes, I do. So would you guys take a look at my education and my experience and try to fit that into something else? Because I was an aerospace engineer and I have 30 years of experience in that. And I know that I do not have the ability to go back and do that. But I was thinking that my skills could be transferred to something else, and I don't know what that is.
Yes, so one of the service is called that we provide for this case for you would be career exploration, taking into account all that, taking into account also your abilities at this point in your life, and just trying to pinpoint that down to what we can get started to get your foot back in the door and building your resume up again.
Huge.
Thank you.
Yeah. So career exploration,
Yeah.
right? So as you were saying,
Yeah, sir.
oh no, yeah, that.
Yeah, so let's see. So I just kind of briefly just talked about some of the services, but let me go into more of those in depth. So we talked about the application. It's lengthy. You guys can get that through me. You do your first intake with a counselor and develop a plan. I told that can last for up to a year. It could be several years. It depends on each individual. Everybody's goal is different. Okay. So the services. For somebody if they're really work ready and they're ready to go back to work, let's say tomorrow, we can just help them out with some transportation assistance. Okay. You get a monthly transportation assistance to help you as you go through your career search, because you're going to be going to job interviews. You're going to be going to career fairs. And as long as you participate and go to these things, the DOR will send you monthly transportation to kind of offset some of those costs. that it takes, because looking for a job is a full-time job in itself, it truly is. We also will get you clothing allowance, okay? The clothing allowance is to get you back into that sharp looking person that we need to land to nail the job interview, okay? So the DOR can help you out with clothing, and because things may have changed, maybe that old suit or outfit is not fitting the same anymore, you know, holidays are coming out, it's getting a little tighter, right? You know, so we'll get you something fresher that's up to date now that we can like get you ready for the clothing.
Reindeer,
I'm sorry,
with reindeer?
with training. Training, this is a big thing for some people, training, okay? The training services, if your plan requires you to go to school, that's where the DOR really loves to help out and pay for some costs or tuition. What kind of school? It could be a trade school. It could be college. Now, the degree or the certificate that you're going for, it has to be within reason. The counselor, when you sit with the counselor and they develop the plan, you can't just walk in and say, I want to be a doctor, I want to get a doctorate degree. Well, wait, you got to get an associate's first. You got to get a bachelor's and a master's, you know. So it depends, and it depends on the employment goal. For example, some occupations are very hard to. Some people want to be singers and musicians. That's kind of a hard employment goal to justify to send somebody to school for a master's in music. You know, you have to. We take into account, well, what's your work history look like? If you want to be a nurse, but yet you have an associate's in some type of nursing and you've had some previous employment in the medical field, okay, that's easy to kind of put that together and put that package and get tuition covered. If you are a teacher, you've been a teacher and you have a bachelor's and you now want to be a counselor at a high school and you need a master's, we can help out with that. If you want to get a trade, go to a trade school, that's not a problem too. We can look into the trades that you might want to learn, get a certificate in, and we can help out with that. What I'm saying is we do help with tuition and education and training. It just depends on each individual's goal, okay? Because that gets kind of confusing for some people. Well, you said you were going to pay for my school. Well, we can. Let's see what you're trying to do here, what we can help out with, and what makes reasons with your disabilities. Is there going to be a return on an investment? If we put you through school, are you going to be able to work and do the job? You know, so while you're in training or any type of, let's say, a trade school, or you're learning a trade, we also will cover the books, the supplies that you need, backpacks, notepads, maybe even a laptop if it's needed, depending on your goal. If you're learning, I have a young lady who's in, what do you call it with the skin? Esthetician. So beauty products that she needs. We help with supply with any tools and materials that you need to reach that goal. Okay, and as long as that counselor and you have made a solid plan from the beginning, that's no problem. That's what we're here for. We're here we want you to prepare for that employment. And then another service we help out with is retention. So let's say you have a job right now and you're having a little trouble. The disabilities is kind of weighing you down a little bit and you're kind of worried about retaining this position. For example, you're a nurse. We'll buy you scrubs. We'll get you tools and materials you need while you're currently employed to assist, anything we can do to assist you to maintain that employment. Okay. So if you have a job and you're just kind of struggling, you like it, but you do need some retention help, you want to look this up and see if you can apply there. Okay. That we can make you more comfortable at work. Okay. Let's see. So other services are part of the career exploration kind of question. We have a number of organizations that do assessments. You just don't know what you want to get back into. It's been a while since maybe you've been out of work, kind of nervous, lots of different things going through your mind. So we might want to do some career exploration. So we do, one service is on-the-job training. Well, we will assist and set you up with a company that you want to work for a minimal, that's a 90-day period. We'll pay the company to pay you to train you and see if this is the right fit. At no cost to you. Nothing of this cost FYI to anybody, to you. This is zero cost. It's a state service. So you're $0. Okay, $0. So, but that on the job will pay the company to train you, to give you that on the job training experience. That's one way to help with career exploration for yourself. Okay. Amongst a number of agencies that just come to us and say, hey, we have internship possibilities, paid internship. We need somebody to fill this spot. We'll try them out for a temporary time. If they're good to go, we'll offer them the job. If it kind of doesn't help, doesn't work out, that's fine. It doesn't, no harm, no foul. It's just some training experience for our clients to, you know, get their feet back, you know, in the door. Okay. Questions, any questions popping up right now?
Swanee had a question there.
Oh, no, it's just a comment. Yeah, I can put it down actually and a comment after whoever needs to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I see that Ryan, he's trying to go back to school 3 times. And so it just hasn't worked out in the LVN area.
Mhm.
And so for you, this kind of fits into what you were saying earlier, that career exploration.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it didn't, those 3 times didn't work out. I mean, I have a lot of clients that we do what we can. We advocate, you know, for our clients as best as we can. The reality is sometimes employers choose another candidate, you know, but hey, you got to keep trying. So unfortunately, sometimes things happen that just kind of extends our case a little bit longer. That's all.
Yeah. And Mike, you had something there?
Oh, I was gonna ask about ages. If you have a certain age, but you can do it, or
As long as you're working age 16 and over. As long as you're employment age, you can be a client.
Yeah, Susie has something.
What if you currently are, like I'm in the Coastline, are you familiar with
Coastline College?
ABI program,
Okay.
the acquired brain injury program? Can you help assist with that program, or are you not
This is
considered?
through a college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, so,
It's Coastline.
Go to a different.
oh, okay, so I think the question is, you're asking me if you are
I'm in
enrolled
the
in,
full-time program.
if you're enrolled in a program, you can always still come and enroll with us as well. We won't,
To help me stay in the program. It's a 2-year
mhm,
program
mhm.
for acquired brain.
yeah, because if there's any, for example, I work with a lot of veterans specifically that have VA assistance in certain programs, vocational rehabilitation, due to their injuries, what have you. But they can co-enroll in our program as well. To kind of offset some of the things that maybe they don't cost, we'll pick up. And so yes, you can be in multiple programs with us if you'd like. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, something there, Ryan?
Yeah, you said for my thing that I put down, you said LVN. I want to be a BSN, but that's probably never gonna happen.
Right.
I said probably because I know that's what you want to hear,
Yeah.
but I know never say never. Can I ask what your name is for the person that says Suanne?
Swanee?
Is it Swami?
Swanee, yeah.
Oh, Swanee, okay. I know never say never, but
Hey, Ryan, as you're talking, I think Rich just brought up the idea that there is a part of the VA that could assist with vocational rehabilitation because you are a veteran, correct, sir?
yeah,
Okay, and so if he was to contact you, would you
Yeah.
be able to assist with
Well,
the?
depending on what branch Ryan was in, because I was Navy, so it depends on the branch.
I
Oh,
was in the Navy. I don't, if you were in the Army, I don't.
Oh, you're a Navy man too, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, well then, all right, it's all good then,
I got
great. So reach
what was
out
your
to Rick.
number?
I got you. You want to put it in the chat? or-
Yeah.
Yeah, can you put it in again, Dan? Okay.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
I got you, Ryan. I got you. bud.
Gotcha. And so, yeah, Jose, you had a question there, sir.
This with you, Daniel. I have good news. Daniel,
Yeah.
I don't need food therapy no more. Thanks to my caregiver, Janela, taking food therapy. I don't need food therapy no more.
Wait, ask it again. Ask the question again.
Thanks to my caregiver, Janela, I don't need physical therapy no more. I walk without a walker now.
Yeah, so you got a caregiver then, right? You got a caregiver. That's great.
Janela, thanks to her, I walk without a walker.
Yeah, you start walking, you're losing weight too. I see you're looking trim, sir.
I lost 3 pounds in one night.
Yeah. Did you freeze there? Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of different avenues here. So if you're not sure what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, I mean more so your capabilities or where you fit in, the Department of Rehabilitation will find that for you and collaborate with you to find those areas. And then more so can if there are agencies, programs can fit your capabilities, your strengths, your skills with the right job.
Correct.
Right. So perfect. Swan, do you have something there?
Okay, yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to the DOR and thank you so much, Rich, for stepping up to come speak. But I've been with Arturo at the DOR since 2017, since Daniel introduced me and I found out about my brain injury that I had for a really long time. And so I just want to make a comment and a plug for the DOR because I've been with Arturo since 2017 or 18, and he's just been true blue and like he's been amazing. And I have to say, like as I have tried to reinvent my life, especially after I got laid off my job in the finance industry, I knew for sure I struggled for so long doing administration, and it was no wonder when I found out about the brain injury why I struggled. And so now trying to kind of turn over and reinvent my life into more creative areas. The DOR helped me with getting a digital marketing certification. And and the funny thing is, like, I'm now teaching at Cal State Northridge. I teach digital marketing strategies to musicians. And I'm learning a lot in this process. Like I'm learning that multitasking is still a challenge. And the other thing that I learned in the process too is that the point being, I learned a lot when I did the digital marketing certification, and I learned what aspects of digital marketing are super challenging still for my brain. Like anything that has to do with SEO or data analytics, the numbers and statistics side, which for some of you may be good, like Daniel's good at it, but I struggle with math and statistics. And for some reason, like the more creative things come easily to me, probably because like the right side of my brain wasn't affected. It was really the left side of my brain and my frontal lobe. And so I naturally am really good at like art and writing and music. And so all that to say, like Arturo and I are literally, we have our meeting scheduled for Monday to kind of, again, just do another pivot. And I told him, like, I got this like writer's contract. I just got my very first feature article published, a paid feature article on music and health. And that literally was published this past month. I'll be able to share that with you guys in about a month or so, due to copyright reasons or whatever. But the main thing is, like, I've been able to kind of, through this time, work really closely with Arturo, tell him what's working and what's not working. And he's stuck by me, true blue. And just like, it makes me cry just how awesome and amazing the DOR has been to like stick by me, and to know that I'm on that journey of trying to reinvent myself. And they're not gonna leave me. Like, they've been there with me every step of the way. And I just love you guys so much. So I just want you guys out there to know that, like, it's a journey for all of us, for God's sake. Like, and there isn't like, it's not about like trying one thing and then failing and then stopping. It's about figuring out, I kid you not, it's hard for me too. It's like, it's just trying to focus on what is working, what isn't, and then pivoting, constantly trying things, finding what works, letting go of what doesn't, and just continuing down that journey of let's just focus on what's working. Let's focus on what is working. And it's the same thing that Daniel's done, is just focusing on what's working. But obviously our lives look a little different because of the way that our injuries express themselves. So of course he's having to reinvent himself in a different way than how I am, and that's okay, you know. So I just want to give huge props to the DOR, because like I feel like I can't believe they stuck with me this long, and they have. And like I said, Arturo is meeting with me again on Monday to kind of figure out the next game plan, because my teaching is ending in December, and I may not get a contract next year. I don't know, but the reality is, like, I've discovered new challenges with teaching that were really hard for me, like a lesson planning and assignments and grading. And I've been trying to like hit up Daniel and be like, how did you do the teaching thing? Because I can't do it. You know, students and Gen Zers, oh my God, you know, and just lesson planning and assignments and grading has been really challenging for me. And so I just feel like, okay, writing, I was able to get through that pretty well, and I'm really good at it naturally. So we're gonna, like, again, job strategize and pivot. That's what they're there for. They're there to help us, and I've really, really, really appreciated it. Like, I can't thank the DOR enough for sticking by me. So
Absolutely. And so right, I mean, right there, that's like a plug there, right? So there is success, right? If you fail, you pivot, right? That's what it is, like that growth mindset. That's really what the DOR is preaching. And all of you here have been preaching is putting your brain in a healing environment, and it will flourish, right? It's not about succeeding first time. It's that growth mindset. Failure is not final. Failure is necessary to find something that you'll be successful at, right? So,
that's right. That's right on that. I second that, Daniel. That is so right on. It's like really not focusing on the failure. It's just finding out what works, letting go of what doesn't. Finding out what works, letting go of what doesn't. Repeat, 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 and just trying not to think about what's not working, and just keep moving forward. And it sounds like Rich is an amazing guy who's really just gonna, help you guys do that. So shout out to the DOR, and I really hope you guys can get to plug in and get the help you need.
Yeah. And
I think of the services that I mentioned, we can assist with training and tuition, transportation assistance to get you, help you pay for gas to go here and there. The services of get you outfitted for your job interviews. We also can help out if you have need new glasses, because whatever you need to make yourself work, of all those services, those are monetary things that the state has dollar signs to throw your way. But I think the most services that I find myself doing with a lot of people like yourself, thank you for sharing, by the way, it's just being the counseling service, which is actually free. It's just me having a phone, an email, or something for you to just talk to. Hey, it didn't work out. All right, let's move on to the next one. And that service is just, you can be on my caseload as long as it takes to help you get to that one career where it's like, man, I found the job of my dreams, and I'm working, Monday through Friday now, and I got good hours, and the pay's good, and I'll be there however long it takes. And who knows, I might even be confiding in you, like, man, I hate my job. Today's a bad day. My team lost yesterday, whatever. It's just being there, somebody that you can't put a value on that. And you can be on our caseload at the DOR as long as it kind of takes that you and your counselor agree upon to try to get your foot into whatever goal that is. So yeah, thank you for sharing. And so let's see, I went over the application process, kind of it's little the paperwork. You can get that from me, or I'll get you one. You turn it into your local office that's near you. They'll set you up with an intake appointment. You'll meet your counselor. You'll develop a plan of attack, what you want to, how we're going to get to the goal that you want to achieve for employment. And then you kind of just go on that caseload and you're there working it out together month after month or however long it takes. And then we won't close the case successfully until we reach that goal. So however long that takes. So reach that goal and monitor you. It doesn't even, the services don't stop there. You get the job, much like the retention services. Once you are in employment, any tools, supplies, anything you need for work, clothing, whatever, the DOR will assist. Because we want you to do well. Okay, and then once you're placed or where your employment is stable, then we'll close the case successful. And you can always reopen one. Say you've been there you found a job, you're there for 1-2 years, and you realize that there's a position open, but you might need to go back to school for a little bit to get certified and move up to the next position. Reopen the case. We will help with career advancement. That's called career advancement. We help with that. Okay. So as long as there's a need for it, and which most people need to advance, we have more money, more problems, right? You need to advance. So we'll help out with that advancement, reopen a case, and then we'll do it over again.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and I love that the way that you laid it out here, right? It's you come in and if you're not sure, we do career exploration. And then after the career exploration, you find the career, then it's about career maintenance. And then if you're maintaining your career and you're like, you know what, I want to move up, then there's the career advancement stage, right? And so I like how that was laid out.
Yeah.
Ryan, a question there, sir?
So since I've been talking about wanting to be a BSN,
Yeah.
if I wanted to be a BSN and if I went to you guys, it would be paid for? Sort of.
But potentially, Ryan. I mean, I have to sit down with you, but I would have to look.
I live in Sparks, Nevada, but I used to live over there.
Well, he got his VA benefit.
Yeah, there's you do. I can set you up with your VA stuff. I can get you referred actually to them. I don't work for the VA, but other states have similar services and similar programs. I can help look that up. We can connect after, and I'll send you what information I find.
It's in the chat, sir. So excellent. So perfect. Other questions? Thank you so much, Richard. Rich, any other questions?
I mean, I know there's a lot, and everybody's questions are probably individualized based on their own goals. That's, you got my number, you got the email, we'll go from there.
Perfect. And then there are applications for anyone in person. Get an application. And
I'll shoot you under my email, and then you can have it if you need to forward off to anyone.
Oh yeah, that'd be great if you can do that. Yeah, yes, Pam, you had a question there?
Yeah, so I do have a question. So this help can be ongoing for someone's whole life then, it sounds like.
Oh, I've had people on my caseload for a good amount of their life. As long as there's forward progression, that's no problem. If unfortunately things kind of come to like a stale, then we might need to start from we might need to start from scratch, you know.
As long as there's they want, you know, as long as we want to like if one job's not working out and we want to try another, then you can help with that. How's the funding? Is this federally funded and state funded, or where do the funds come from?
From our tax dollars here in California.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Great resource. I'm proud to be part of a state that takes care of its people.
Daniel
Thank you.
hooked us up.
Yeah, that's right. And then Victoria, you had something there?
Yeah, off of that question, since it's state funded, does that mean every DOR in each state offers the same services, or is there a wide range of what's offered basically?
I know that there's other services in other states that are very similar. I don't know about every state. No, I just know some. Did that answer your question? Is there a question? Is there other services in other states?
I guess if it's state funded, then there's probably,
Each in the
There's
state
variability.
probably has their own,
Yeah.
contingencies too on how much, because unfortunately, some states are not as lucrative as California.
Yeah, so,
West Coast, best.
There you go.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so
Kids are here.
yeah, Kurt, yes, on there, sir.
Yes, I've been in the IT industry since 1995. I believe I can go back to work again.
Good.
Can you help me?
I believe the question was, he believes he can go back to work and he needs help.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, apply.
yeah, wait, yeah, we'll send you an application.
As
When-
I think as long as Kurt's in California, then the DOR can help him,
Yeah.
right?
he's in California. I don't know. where
Yeah,
Kurt's at.
Kurt, well,
Looks like
where are
he's in
you?
space right now. He's in space
Yeah.
somewhere.
Where in California are you, sir?
San Jose.
Oh, he's
San Jose.
Santa Clara County.
Yeah, no problem. Just send out, there's an office, there's plenty of offices up there.
Yeah, right, and then I think there's Gabriel's in Santa Barbara and Megan and maybe it's here or County, but yeah, and Sacramento and San Francisco, I think so, yeah. All right, great, so perfect. Any other questions? Yes.
I did a contract with DOR in Long Beach.
Okay.
It's in 2019 and they linked me with, I cannot remember what this, but SCRS organization. My question is if because I'm a licensed speech therapist assistant, and I'm looking for a part-time job for the new year. If I look into possible civil positions at schools in Orange County, like Santa Ana, would I go to you, or do I still, if I do, or I just go back and link up with my counselor at LB and then?
Yeah, so if the counselor you or whoever you're working with Long Beach, as long as that case is closed, you just reopen it with them.
Okay.
Yeah. no
And
problem.
it doesn't matter, like whichever one's close.
Once I'm able to look up an assistant, I'll be able to see if it's open or closed, but do you know if it's closed?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Either way, we can just look it up.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
And then we could just ask if it is open, you could transfer. It's just like, hey, can you, I want to work through the office down here now. Can
Okay.
you transfer my case? No problem.
Perfect, and so you mentioned Southern California Resource Services or
Yeah,
SCRS.
yeah.
Yeah, and so they are starting in July of this fiscal year, they are now one of the funded sites that are state funded by the DOR to provide services to brain injuries. So they're one of 12. So we're another one of the 12 sites. So excellent, yeah. Awesome. So CRS. And so perfect. So other questions for our esteemed guest here? Yes.
Do you have a location in Fullerton?
The nearest one, Fullerton, is Anaheim. Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Yeah, that covers Fullerton area.
You know where in Anaheim it is?
I can get that address for you.
It's on Harbor.
It's on Harbor.
Yeah, it's off a harbor. Their
Broadway and
building's really nice, actually. It's in the Wells
Yeah.
Fargo building or something.
It's on top of the Wells Fargo, yeah.
Correct.
And across the street from Carl Jr.
And the Anaheim Police Department.
Yeah.
Oh, the one
And there's
right-
an amazing poke restaurant, like right behind it. You gotta check out that poke restaurant.
Yeah.
Now you guys are getting
Yeah, yeah, so I mean, excellent. So I mean, really just one last comment here is, so thank you, Rich. You know, this really is very surreal for me because I can remember sitting in one of these back when we first asked DOR to come, back when I first started these in-person groups back in 2014. We had the DOR come in and it was Penny LeBouf from Anaheim. And so, and I invited her in just because everyone was asking. I didn't really know that I could qualify. And I could get all these benefits and all these great help, support from the DOR. And 2015, I came on board, and I'm currently still to this date, 7 years later, I'm a very proud consumer of the DOR. And it's taken me like through a master's, through a doctorate and beyond. And I cannot emphasize the strength of the programs that Rich and the DOR is providing to the community. So please access them and join me in giving a brain injury thank you for Ranger Perez. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rich. We appreciate you.
Thank you. My cards, he's got my cards right there too, and